This is Kat,
And this is Saskia,
and this is Note to Self.
your weekly dose of everything that's just simply too long to text.
Well, Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Even though we are shooting this early, but it will come out on Christmas Day, baby. Do you remember? I think I told you and I've said this on the podcast, the Christmas elf story of my sister.
Yeah, I love it.
But then another time she also gave this same friend, a different one of my friends, a Christmas card. And she spelled Christmas like CKRITHMAS, something crazy. And so we always go, Merry Christmas. Every year we say it. And I realize that I say that sometimes just regularly to people that definitely don't know that story. Like I just did it on the podcast then. And I'm like, people will be like, does Saskia not know how to say Christmas?
I have started to adopt that.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Christmas.
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 I don't know who we're going to offend by saying that, but but I've started to say it, and then I've realized that A, I wasn't even there for the experience. B, I'm just mimicking. And it's very funny.
It's so funny. But
Yeah.
then I realized there's some context behind it.
Well, if anyone wants to just get away from their loved ones on a Christmas day, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, come join us. We love you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Mariah Carey.
That one?
Yeah.
Dude, nailed it. Me too.
No, wow.
What? No, that's my favorite pop one. And then I think like a classic Christmas song. I think it's called Three Wise Men. I can't remember, but there's this. No, it's Three Kings. We three kings of Orient are bearing gifts. We travel afar. Something like that.
Is this just going to be a sing-along?
Ugh, that was not my proper singing voice. That was me like not singing nicely. But you know that song? Do you remember that one?
Yes.
There's something about it that feels very mystical, and I always loved it.
I do love, and I know I'm going to get hate for this, I love the holiday season.
Girl, same.
It's stressful and it's chaotic, but I love walking into a store, and I love when I just hear Christmas carols blasting or holiday music blasting. In New York, when all the trees start popping up, the Christmas trees to buy, it's getting a little crisp in
It's
the
so
air.
festive, and then going in and like seeing all the fun gifts you can buy for Christmas. I love Christmas carols playing. I'm the exact same.
Yes.
I was feeling ultra festive this year because I'm in New York for the first time prior to Christmas. Usually I'm in Australia, and New York is a beautiful place during Christmas.
It is beautiful. You have all the warm drinks that you can have, and it's quite nice.
It's a special time. Although I did go uptown for the first time in years because Jeffrey's family were in town and they were staying on the park. And I did not realize how crazy busy tourism is this time of year, where tourists literally flock to the city just to be up in that area where there's the Rockefeller tree, which we saw, which surprisingly wasn't as busy as I've seen it in previous years.
I heard that, yeah.
It is pretty spectacular. But then we were walking down Fifth, and it was really chaotic. I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
It's very, very overwhelming.
So overwhelming.
I think from October onwards.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Also, you know there's a huge Louis Vuitton store up there. That's
Yes.
the bag, the boxes. I thought that was AI.
No.
I didn't realize it was real. And I walked by it. And for those listeners that have not seen this, Louis Vuitton has opened this store on 5th and pretty much Central Park. And it is these 3 stacked on the outside of the store. The whole store looks like 3 stacked Louis Vuitton, travel, their cases, their trunks.
Yeah.
And I honestly thought it was AI. And then when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, they built this.
It's huge.
How did they do it?
Huge.
It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. That must have cost so much goddamn money.
I do think it's a little tone deaf in, today's economy.
When did they open it?
I don't know, but I think it's been a few months.
It was this year.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, yes.
Yeah, you're right. Think about the timing. Anyways, it was very hectic up there, and I was thinking it would be like, I'm going to feel so festive. And I was like, let's go to the plaza. You can't even go inside the plaza unless you have a booking or you're going for high tea. And I was like, what?
My mum and I went to the plaza when she was visiting over the summer, and And we didn't have a booking for the high tea, so we were just in another room. It is not a good experience these days.
So you couldn't go in? No, you did go in.
We not to the high tea area. We just went into the restaurant.
See, they didn't let anyone in unless you had
Really?
reservations. Oh, but you were going in to sit at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Wasn't good?
No, it was overpriced, bad serviced, shitty food.
Yeah.
And but this is my issue with particularly New York is that people with name status can get away with mediocre service and food.
Yeah. I mean, look how it's so iconic to New York that
Yes.
it kind of can. Yeah. I've heard though that half of it's residential and it hasn't been kept well from what I understand.
Damn.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting considering the place makes so much money. Like it's
Well-
expensive to stay there overnight.
Yes. I'm not surprised though.
I think they like embroider your name on your pillowcases and stuff when you book in the room.
And I don't know if this is just a lie or a myth, but they ask for your dog's size so they can give them a robe.
No, I did
is
see
it,
that
is
on
it real?
Instagram. I don't know. I saw it on Instagram, but who knows?
And then I started to look for bathrobes for dogs.
That's really
It's just really cute. But no, I love the holiday season. I think it can be very hard to get into it because everyone is so consumed with more. And Joe and I were having this conversation last week or a few weeks ago, and we were saying, let's not focus on material things. You know, we don't need more stuff.
Yeah.
And think about all the like holiday movies and all the photos of trees, like the abundance of gifts and like just an abundance of things.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't need that. And it's so easy. It's the end of the year. Everyone's exhausted anyway. It's expensive. So it's like we're going with a less is more approach.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think also you can have like I think of the memories that I value the most and cherish the most when it comes to Christmas. And it's not, I don't think back on the gifts, you know? I mean, I loved stockings as a kid, of course. Like my mom would fill our stockings with so many little fun knickknacks and I always enjoyed that. But when I think about Christmas, I think about the food and being with my family
Yes.
and just relaxing. And it's the food. I just love coming together and cooking together. And I think having that dedicated time as a family. And Jeffrey and I had a similar discussion this year where we were thinking through what do we want our Christmases to start looking like and what traditions do we want to make together. And we really wanted to do a tree, but we couldn't because we're moving and it just didn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense.
It would be a nightmare. But we said that every year maybe we'll do some type of little thing that is, you know, a Christmas outing, the two of us. So on last week we went and saw the Brooklyn Orchestra, the Fort Greene Orchestra, sorry, and they did Vivaldi's Four Seasons. Which was so beautiful. It was in a church and we listened to they did the whole piece and it was the whole church was decorating Christmas decorations. I'm not
really
religious,
nice.
but it was just beautiful to be in there. You know, a lot of orchestras often play in churches and it was just such a nice time. And I loved that. I really wanted to go to the Nutcracker this year because I've never been, which we still might try and do. But yeah, little things like that. And again, these are tickets that we bought, but even little things like, you know, decorating our tree or something can be nice things to do.
It's just, I think less is more and just creating special memories.
For sure. What was the tradition in your family on Christmas?
Well, usually me and my twin would be hungover because Christmas
When
Eve.
you were a baby?
Oh. Not quite.
No.
No. Okay. So,
But as an adult, right. Okay. We can go now or then.
but as a kid, it was just, I was just so excited and I would just wake up and just, you know, the same kind of family traditions as most Australians, you know, you do the present thing and then we have it's basically like a cold lunch because it's in the middle of summer. So
See, we never did this, but I know Australians do this.
yeah. Oh yes. You had a different,
We did like the North American because of mom and dad.
we would just have a shit ton of prawns, a cold ham.
Seafood lunch.
Yep. It was so good.
So would you do dinner?
No.
Yeah, so that's such an Australian thing, which makes total sense. It's literally my mom's dream to do this, and we don't do this. But same thing. Like I remember just being so excited. Also, like always convincing myself I had heard Santa on the roof. Absolutely
Always.
convinced.
Yes.
Totally convinced.
And just, I was constantly like peeking out.
Right. You could never sleep.
No.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And then, but my parents, God, being a parent is just like mastering the art of negotiation and like fucking with your kids.
Truly. I mean, I loved it when I got older and knew Santa wasn't real. I kept it alive for Lily. So I would like go and like eat the cookies. So
Oh
it
my
looked
God,
like
that's
Santa
really
had eaten
sweet.
them. I loved it. I got so into it.
That's really precious.
We would always do the like little presents and we'd be up at the crack of dawn as kids. Now, you always knew when we got older as teenagers because we'd be waking up much later.
Yes.
You'd be like, they've changed.
I'm sure my parents appreciated that.
Yeah, right. Like it's not 5 a.m. and you're waking us up. We always did like a Dutch style brunch, like breakfast.
That's
so for
right.
mom's side of things, so different cheeses and jams and croissants and stuff. And then we'd usually have a big dinner because we'd have a big brunch and it would always be a turkey. So very North American.
Really?
Roast turkey, cranberry sauce, stuffing, like mashed potatoes.
So you were pulling in the Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, Thanksgiving, but also like most North Americans, a lot of them do turkey for Christmas too.
Really?
At least in Canada. It's very popular in Canada because Canadian Thanksgiving's in October. So a Canadian Christmas is also very
Interesting.
similar. Like Thanksgiving meal was like my Christmas. And I think that is pretty common. Like my aunt and uncle, they'll do the same thing over here, like a similar meal for Christmas.
Oh my God, I'm getting very hungry.
And we'd always have pumpkin pie, which again is very
Yes,
Thanksgiving.
it's very Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I do not rate pumpkin pie.
Oh, I love it.
I find it.
I fucking love it.
It tastes like medicinal to me.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I'm obsessed
It's
with
disgusting.
pumpkin pie. I love it. Well, mom every year though is like, what about a seafood lunch this year? And we're always like, no.
Her biggest dreams, like, and just throwing it out there, a seafood lunch.
My mom, who also for our listeners is pescatarian, so doesn't eat turkey.
Oh,
So
oh my gosh, give that woman a year.
we usually do a ham too. So we would do a ham, but so we'd have
What
a
does she
Christmas ham.
eat?
All the sides. My mom, she'll have like a million different
Yes,
beautiful
true.
sides. Like
Meredith can
she's not
deliver.
stuck for options. So
Meredith would deliver.
but yeah, so we're doing this year, we're down in Florida on my uncle's property. So we're going to be doing our own little version of that with my dad's family, which will
Oh
be
my
exciting.
God. That's really lovely, but give your mum a seafood lunch.
Yeah. I don't think it'll work down there. We're like in the middle of Florida. Access to seafood is probably more likely on the coastal side in Australia. Next year we'll give
Next
it to
year.
her.
Just give
She's
her-
got it. Yeah.
Just give her one.
I think she should get it.
Yeah, I think at least one.
One. We'll just do all three. We'll do the turkey dinner too. So full.
But the holiday season in general is a very there's a lot of holiday parties going on.
Oh, right.
A lot of risque behavior.
Oh.
Sorry
what
to pivot
happened?
from a really
Oh, God. So last week, Kat and I had a holiday party. What's happened?
No, nothing at that holiday party.
Oh, great.
No. I've just been having, you know how December is full, like it is so socially filled.
Yes.
I've been having a lot of dinners with a lot of good friends, and just there's been a general consensus along, with my friends or friends of friends about just the risque behavior at holiday parties.
With like
Not
work?
with them, yes.
Okay,
At
work- so
that
work
they've
holiday
witnessed,
parties.
not that they've been involved with or their spouses, but what they've witnessed.
Right.
And this has been, you always hear about this. I truthfully have not heard about inappropriate workplace holiday party behavior in a while.
Honestly, neither, but I also am remote. So
Yes.
we don't really do, like my company doesn't have a holiday party.
Okay.
I haven't had one in probably like 7 years. My last one was 2019.
Oh.
Where when I reflect on it, probably some inappropriate things did happen.
What happened at yours?
It was like, it was so fun. I had a great night, but we all went to like essentially a strip club.
Like at your work holiday?
Yeah, it was a great night. I actually planned it. We had dinner at Lure in Soho, that gorgeous sushi fish restaurant. We had a private room there. And then we went to Ray's, which is this cool bar in downtown New York that had only been open like a year. Now
So it
Ray's
was nice.
Yeah, it was back when it was cool. And we went there and had like an open bar. And then a smaller group of us, pretty much everyone left. And then like 6 of us went to the Box. And the Box is like this very fancy burlesque club that like you either have to know someone or have a table to get into. It's been around forever. Like it's probably not, again, like back then it even wasn't as cool as it used to be when I first lived on that street. But But we went and my head of finance was there. I love that guy. We're still friends actually. And he was like, fuck it, got a table. We got a table. And like
Head of finance doing that is
amazing. Had so much alcohol, but like, because we were all wasted, we couldn't even drink the alcohol. Me and my colleague were standing up at the box. Like, there's this burlesque show that happens. It's like pretty sexual, but it's very stylized. It's cool. And then there's like this center area in the room, and it's a pretty small room with all these little booths and stuff. And in between the shows, it's just like a club and you can dance. And they had this like elevated platform, and me and my colleague were up on the platform, like dropping, getting down and dirty. Meanwhile, my like other colleagues are just sitting there. I had to fly to Australia the next day, and I've never been so hungover. It was awful.
Have very different workplace experiences.
Again, I was working, babe, this is working in startups. I mean, our retreat was like wild as well, but probably different because I was working in P&T. So I had HR. So at the time, so I had to be on my best behavior.
On your best.
Yes. And I was running it. So I was literally working the whole time.
Not the one at the box where you were on the,
no, this was one in Sicily. Yeah.
That sentence, Jesus Christ.
That was, and I think I was older. I just like wasn't like, when I was working at this company, I was 27, you know, like you're partying anyways. Like
I was starting
if we have work stuff now, I'm not really partying, you know?
No. Oh my God. At 27, I was engaged. Had just gotten engaged.
That is crazy. You had 27?
Child bride.
Truly.
My frontal lobe had just developed.
How young you were. That's truly wild.
If I see a 27-year-old, I'm going to retract for a second. At the end of summer, in one weekend, I think I saw like 5 weddings around Brooklyn, and they all seemed like mid-20s.
Really?
I shit you not.
Because I'm reading more and more that young people are not getting married. At least like the Gen Zs are not like gravitating towards marriage as much as probably like millennials.
Smart people.
I know.
I will say.
But I still want a wedding. So what stories have they had? Because
they've just seen a lot of like iffy behavior going on, and like not even trying to hide it. These are people who are absolutely not single.
What?
Yes.
I mean, honestly, not fucking surprised though, because I've heard so many stories like this. Again, not recently, because I feel like most of my friends, they're either remote or we don't have holiday parties. But I do remember like even Jeffrey sharing stories of when he worked for a big company, so much stuff like that would always happen.
Yes. And then it wasn't just from like 1 or 2 people. It was like many of my friends who have heard from their friends. Like this is... And then I started thinking, I was like, what constitutes as cheating? And what are the lines? So if I found out, not that he would never because he's a perfect angel, Joe.
You better listen to this, Joe.
But if I had found out that, you know, Joe or whoever, my partner, you know, at whatever holiday party was acting inappropriately towards a colleague much younger, when it was very known that we were in a relationship, I'm like, if they were just dancing or flirting, like, would that be cheating?
Fuck.
See?
I don't know. I mean,
I'd be pissed.
It's not good.
It's not good.
I think if anything, I'd be more pissed about the fact that I'd be like, who are you? Because like, you shouldn't do that to women.
Yes. And I would feel embarrassed that my partner was willing to do that in a place where he shows up to every day at work, where his colleagues know that he is in a relationship.
Right. 100%. To be fair, I actually, if it was just dancing and flirting, in my head, I wouldn't think cheating, but I would be like, exactly, embarrassed and being like, you should, like, I think what I would struggle with is I'd hope, again, in my situation, I could never imagine Jeffrey doing that. But if he did, I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you don't treat women like that.
Yes.
I like to think you have more respect for women than to like approach a younger person.
Yep.
So I have to think that like that to me would be more my concern, is like feeling for that other. And I'd probably want to reach out to the woman and be like, are you okay?
Yeah. I would be like, shit.
Yeah, seriously.
But I would also then kind of spiral and be like, what happens in your workplace that makes you want to flirt more in a public setting at a holiday party? Like, what's going on in your everyday interactions with each other?
True. I do think though sometimes it can be nothing and that people get drunk at holiday parties and like kind of lose all sense of social etiquette. And I also think when there's a distinction, I'm just coming to this right now, a distinction between work and your life, that when you are having these holiday parties, it's almost like you are taking out the work element and you're just in this life, social, whatever, you're letting loose. But that's why I actually think it's so important to have your work and life integrated. So in those moments, it doesn't feel as drastically different.
Yes. And just, the whiplash isn't as severe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's interesting. Like when I go away to conferences, some events I go to do feel very work related, but then there's a group of people I work with that have become my friends and it doesn't feel, there's no distinction because like we spend time outside of work just hanging out. So when we're at work, it's just
fine.
this fluid thing.
Yeah. And I think I understand that a lot because I see sometimes people just go fucking balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Well, first of all, if you're going to be drinking, eat.
Yeah. Also, why are you partying this hard with your like colleagues at your Christmas party?
Yes.
If you want to do that, like go do it not at the Christmas party, to be honest.
Yes. Go and have a team building
Or not
activity.
Like yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Go. I think it's almost like I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this because it's like you can be friends with your colleagues, sure, but also if you, I don't think I'm saying the right words, but I just feel like you don't need to be getting wasted at your Christmas party.
No.
Holiday party.
Yeah. And I just, the getting wasted and the sloppiness. But I started to think about like, what do people constitute as cheating in their own relationships?
Yeah. Let's pivot to this.
Yeah.
What would you constitute as cheating?
Well, I think there's the physical cheating and there's the emotional cheating.
I'm probably aligned on the exact same.
Yeah. I mean, neither are good and neither I would tolerate at all. But I always used to be like, if it were just sex one night, I would be more, okay, that is cheating, but I'd be more okay with that than this emotional like flirting lingering, which is why the flirting at a holiday party would really mess with me.
Yeah. Because it seems like maybe there's something else there.
Exactly.
I agree. I think an emotional connection is far worse. I mean, it's both not good, but I think it's harder to build back trust when you feel like you've lost that emotional connection. But then, I mean, this also pivots to just, I think expectations in relationships or agreements per se can change. And this is something that friends who are in more open style relationships, sometimes they're closed and they're not they're not, experimenting or seeing other people. They all have different agreements. Some have agreements where they only explore together. Other ones they explore separately. And then other times they close it off. And I think so often where we get stuck is like, we're stuck in these, we've gotten married or we're together and these agreements never change.
Exactly. It's not fluid.
Right.
Or it doesn't, I feel like people are seasonal and we change every season. And I think everything from a relationship standpoint should be seasonal too.
I agree.
The way, because the person you are today is going to be a different person in 2 months and 3 months, 20 years, 40 years. So then why would you be tied to the same or bound to the same rules as when you first started dating?
I totally agree. And I feel like it should be more common to have these, whether it's annual check-ins or whatever it is. And a friend of mine and her partner, they do that a lot. Like they'll have check-ins where they're like, is this still working for us in terms of they call them agreements, which I really like because it feels less like rules.
Yeah.
Because they've made this agreement with each other to not do that. For me and Jeffrey, like I have zero interest right now, nor would I emotionally be able to handle having an open relationship or either of us exploring together or separately. Because I just think I'm going through my own personal things with some trauma I'm dealing with that I will talk about at another time. But I am not opposed to those agreements changing.
Exactly.
When I'm at a different stage, as would Jeffrey. You
yeah.
know?
And, Joe and I are the same. And it also comes with like a lot of vulnerability of having those conversations. And in a way, when I was hearing these stories about holiday parties and people acting inappropriately, especially when it was very obvious that these people were not single, part of me just made me sad that they feel so, I mean, I'm not going to try and dictate what they feel because that behavior is still inappropriate, but I felt almost pity that they must not be able to be fully vulnerable or very like transparent with their partner about what their needs are.
Totally. Like if you came to your partner and you're like, I actually have had this like kind of connection with someone at work and I feel like it's breaking our agreement and I wanted to be vulnerable with you about it. Like I would respond way better to that. I'd probably struggle with it a little bit and be like, fuck, you've had like an emotional connection with someone, but I wouldn't constitute it as cheating because they told me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's when they're not communicating it. And like you said, something's happening at the Christmas party and then maybe it's being taken a little too far. And that person probably doesn't feel safe to share that in their relationship.
Yeah.
Or they feel like they don't have the capacity to even be able to talk about it.
Correct. And my thing is like, don't fucking embarrass or disrespect me.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm the exact same. And I'm like, just be honest.
Yep.
Just tell me how you're feeling and we can work through it. If people
Yeah.
are honest, you can actually work through these things.
Yeah.
The most difficult conversations tend to be the ones that give the most growth.
Exactly. And I also think it's like you know when someone is holding back something. And I fucking know when a motherfucker is lying.
It is so, so true. Women's intuition is a real thing. Trust your gut always.
Yes.
Why are you
I was
answering like that?
like my IBS gut, my celiac gut.
I mean, it's interesting you bring this up because just like kind of echoing on relationships, there was something that came up recently with Jeffrey's and my couples therapist, which I thought was fascinating. And I think so much of all of this conversation that we just had and what I'm about to talk about is all around like your communication styles and learning to communicate with each other. Because I think having those conversations about I've had this maybe connection with someone or X, Y, and Z happened, only that can happen, I think, through being taught how to have conversations like that. Because I don't think it comes naturally to us because we've been programmed by pop culture and society that, you know, we must be with this one person and never have anything else.
Correct.
And it's kind of fucked our heads a little bit. So echoing on that, I think having a couples therapist at least is really helping us communicating because there's so many different elements to this. And one thing that came up for us recently is our like processing times emotionally.
That's interesting. Okay.
Super interesting. And this isn't new information, but it hit me in a different way. You know, when it's something you know, but it resonates with you in a totally different way and it makes you look at something totally differently, but you weren't like, oh, I've never heard of that before. Anyways, we brought up in therapy this kind of continued fight we get into. Essentially, when we get into a fight, I'm instantly processing how I feel and can pretty well figure out what's upset me, what's it tied to. Let's work through it. Let's talk about it. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, on the other hand, usually needs more time. He doesn't process things instantly. He needs to kind of step away, think about it, gather his thoughts, and then come back. And what will happen is I get really frustrated in that moment. I feel abandoned. I'm like, why are we not talking about this? You're clearly annoyed. Like I can even see what's going on with him, but he's not there yet. And then it just festers and grows. So she was saying, she's like, I think both of you need to have a bit more understanding as to your processing times. Like Saskia processes very instantly. Jeffrey needs time. And how you navigate that is in that moment, Jeffrey saying, hey, like, I hear you. I just am going to need some time. You know, and I think for me, I was like, you need to say like, I'm not mad at you. And, you know,
I'm just processing.
Just give me some time and I'll come back to you with how I feel. And for me, I have to learn to sit in that uncomfortability and let it go, which is a hard one for me.
Jeffrey and I are similar in that way. I need much time to process. And if I feel like someone is forcing me to just kind of resolve something, then I feel suffocated and then I like pull away more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Shut down a little bit. Yeah, totally the exact same. And I think for me, it's really hard to sit in that uncomfortability because I just want it to be over. I'm like, I figured it out. I already know how you feel. I know how I feel. Like, let's move on.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, wrap this baby up. So it's been interesting because now having kind of reframed it a little bit for both of us, it was even in session. I was like, I get it. This is amazing. Let's do it. And Jeffrey was like still thinking through it. And I realized this was the perfect moment where I was like, because I started to get frustrated. I was like, how's he not getting it? Like we're here. We got it.
Yeah.
We got it.
Yeah.
But he needed time to process and think through it. So I had to step back and be like, okay, he's not mad at me. It was so fascinating to see it happening in real time. I could feel myself being like, he clearly doesn't care. And he does. He just needs time.
Just needs a second. Let him bake.
So I've started to see this over all facets of my life, from like even friendships. Like, yeah, I'm sure it comes up with us sometimes, which I haven't reflected on deeply enough, but I'm sure sometimes if you're someone that needs time and I'm like, yeah, baby, let's go. Let's figure this shit out. You're like, chill out. So I was, yeah.
You and Joe are similar in that sense. And I do think that people who get together are the opposites. Like I process things in a similar way to Jeffrey. Joe is a very quick processor. And by the time I'm still thinking about something, he's already come to a solution.
Exactly.
Yes.
The reason it's opposite is so you can learn from each other.
Exactly.
Because that is like a shadow of yourself that is something that is probably from childhood as to how you process things. And to be able to work through that and have empathy as to how someone else processes enables you to deal with what is beneath all of that as well.
Yes.
So all of that was really interesting to me. I've seen it now, how it plays out in work, where I get stressed if someone's like not dealing with something immediately. And it's just helping me a lot to feel a little bit more grounded in a way.
Yeah.
But the reason I brought it up is just, this is something that, again, like people could break up over something like this.
1,000%.
Yeah. They're like, we just have different communication styles. It's like, no,
That's
no,
a
no.
cop-out.
It is
That is
such
a
a
cop-out.
cop-out. Such a cop-out. And I think it's a cop-out same for these, like, oh, like, you know, you go to cheat because you feel like you can't talk to your partner. And instead just like work on your relationship.
Don't be a coward. Well, that's a blanket statement, but you know.
But I think it's easier to just break up, cheat, do these other things rather than actually talking about it. Even sometimes it's easier to be like, we'll open the relationship up.
Yep.
Because I've seen that happen too, where you've opened it up and not actually dealt with the underlying issues because you think it's just like, maybe we need to be separate. So there's so many different elements here. And ultimately, I'm just going to keep coming back to couples therapy is the best thing you can do. Even if there's no problems, even if it's early days, it is the best thing you can do.
I have always said that my next long-term or my next relationship, there would be couples therapy, even if there's not a problem, because having a, you know, unbiased third party just weighing in is, you know, and we are looking forward to starting just because it's like, yeah, sometimes, you know, and it goes with anything, you know, each person perceives a situation differently. And I think it's good to have just a third person to be like, all right, you know, and just kind of tell us our strengths, what we can work on.
And how to communicate, because we do communicate in different ways and it doesn't necessarily mean you're not compatible.
No.
You can learn to find compatibility. And also what I'm learning, I feel like is helping me in all facets of my life. Just because it's not just my relationship with Jeffrey. It can help with my relationships with my friends, with my family.
Exactly.
Because it's teaching you how you actually approach these things.
And I think I'm so happy that the stigma around couples therapy is almost obsolete.
I think so, but I also can tell from my personal experience, I still get looks when I tell people, oh, we're in couples therapy. They're like, because like we've only been together 3 years. And I'm like, well, we started when we had been dating 1 month, just so our listeners know.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, actually,
our therapist was like, I am so excited because I have been wanting so many people to do this. And I'm pumped to be here on the journey with you guys.
Oh my God, I love that.
It's been really sweet.
I think, but actually, to your point, I've raised, or in conversations, I'm like, yeah, you know, we're exploring couples therapy. We're just trying to find the right one. And they're like, is everything okay? I'm like, and it's going to stay that way.
Because we're doing this. Yeah. I mean, there was I feel like recently we came to a point in our relationship where my personal therapist was like, that's often the stage when couples break up is you either work through these issues, which a lot of people can, but most of the time they choose to break up because they think they're not compatible, which of course sometimes you are not compatible, but some of these communication style issues are not breaking up issues. It's just like, I already know that when it comes down to the compatibility in terms of values, how we treat each other, how we want to live our lives, you know, how we want to raise a family, like all of those were so aligned. The way we have issues is how we communicate.
Exactly.
That's fixable. And it is fixable because I've seen it changing, which is awesome.
Yeah. And I think you and one of my other friends who's in couples therapy, the like advocation that you have both done for it is amazing.
people can always message me if they want to talk about it, because I will always say do it.
Do it.
But yeah, interesting tie. And I just thought to a similar system, I mean, a similar thing you brought up around, even though it's what constitutes cheating, but I think like where cheating lies. And I think a lot of it is around the lack of communication.
Yeah, and then just like the sneakiness.
That's my biggest, don't lie to me.
Don't fucking lie.
I mean, I was cheated on by my first boyfriend, and he lied about it for, I think, a few months, and I found out through a friend. And I always think back, like I was super young. I was 21, and I think, struggled with it generally at the time, and we stayed together, which was probably not the best idea because I couldn't ever trust him again.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if he had told me if it would have felt better. I don't know if I could have handled it even at that age, but still.
I know. I mean, I've been cheated on multiple times, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
Just tell me, because
don't
no
cheat
one
and
ever
lie.
told me.
Yeah.
Yes. If you had
It's
have
the
done
line.
it. Yeah, and that's why I've always thought like, well, would I be more upset if it was just like a one-time thing, or this like emotional, and it's the emotional and the shadiness combined
Way worse.
Yeah, and then you kind of go into the spiral of like, well, I'm not good enough. What did I do wrong? And a lot of the times it is a reflection on them. Sometimes it can be, the other partner, but
It's true. It's own things going on with, yourself at the time is oftentimes what drives you to that. I mean, my boyfriend who cheated on me when we were younger, I know why he cheated. Like we weren't good in our relationship. It wasn't like, that's not an excuse, but I had kind of checked out. Like,
yeah.
And it's, again, no excuse whatsoever. Probably just should have communicated, but we didn't know how to. We were so young. I also do, pivoting to something kind of funny. I remember when I found out, this is like classic dramatic Saskia. I remember.
Oh my God, this is going to be good. It's going to be good.
We were in college living in residences, and I went to his college and I went into his room and confronted him and was like, I know that you cheated, blah, blah, blah. And I was like breaking down, and I remember he had this poster that he loved that he had collected. And I got up and climbed up onto his table, grabbed the poster because it was hung really high. And I was like, this is what you've done to my heart, and ripped it in half. Such a psycho, man.
That is psychotic, and I am here for it.
Dude, I did so much shit to be like, they did in the movies. Like, I wanted my life to be like a movie. It was so insane.
I made like a similar comment, not a similar action, but a comment of when one of mine cheated, and it was like, what did I say? I was like, it's like, you pulled my heart out, stomped on it, and stabbed it 1,000 times.
Would die to hear you talk like that. Holy shit.
I know.
That is funny.
And
I
was
could
just so
never
dramatic.
imagine you saying that.
No, it's so emotional.
Were you super dramatic as well when you were younger?
Probably, yeah. I'm not going to
Dude.
say no to that, because anyone listening who knew me growing up, yeah.
I would be obsessed to have seen that side of you. I feel like even when you moved to New York, you like were pretty level-headed.
Yeah.
I was not.
Ripped my heart out,
Stomped on it
stabbed it 1,000 times.
That's it. Just stabbed it 1,000 times.
Like stop, Waterman. Stop.
I'm obsessed. I still love it.
Oh, God. And then it actually turns out that the woman that he had cheated on me with, she was saying similar things to him. And about like stabbing her heart 1,000 times. I was like, oh, and then I made a joke. I was like, we kind of sound like the same person. Guess that's why you cheated on her.
Of course you made a joke. That's you.
Yep.
That's the cat I know.
And this was in the car in a Subaru. I was having this conversation with my boyfriend in a Subaru.
What? Wait, I'm remembering my high school boyfriend. I think he broke up. No, he broke up with me in our backyard. Oh, in my backyard. I remember now. I thought we were in his car, but we weren't.
Oh,
yeah. Wait, did he break up with me or did I break up with him? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I don't
It
remember.
doesn't matter.
But no, I thought we were in his car for some reason. We did a lot of other things in his car. You know what I mean?
Ew.
Think about it though. Where did you go when you were in high school? You didn't have many options.
No.
Like I wouldn't really hook up in a car now. I'm an adult.
No, why? That
don't need
seems
to do
so
that.
uncomfortable. I
Yeah,
don't want
right?
like a joystick up my vagina.
Yeah, right? Exactly. No. So spent a lot of time on that, and I do have another topic I wanted to discuss. Bit of a strong pivot. Golden Globes.
What?
The Golden Globe nominations, they would have come out a few weeks ago now, but I'm not going to dive into the Golden Globe nominations, but they do have a new category. I don't know if you follow this.
I didn't even know. Yeah, continue.
They have best podcast now.
Oh shit.
Right? Super fascinating. So I thought this is I believe this is the first time they've done this. And I think it's so interesting and just shows how much this format is being recognized as a media for like a strong contender as a media format.
That's amazing.
People these are all shows, right? So it's just like having a TV show is your podcast.
Yeah.
And I think you look at how much influence podcasts have in pop culture, in politics, in the news. It's kind of astonishing and way more than television and movies have. And I think it's been like a long time coming. But what I thought was fascinating were, do you want to hear like the podcasts that were nominated?
Yes, I do.
So they just have one. It's Best Podcast.
Note to self.
Yeah. I didn't actually get to tell you, but we're nominated for a Dude. I'm going to put that manifest it, baby. That energy felt really good to say. I kind of want to say it again.
I was like, ooh, I felt that.
Ooh. So Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard.
Okay.
Call Her Daddy. Mm-hmm. Go to Hang with Amy Poehler. Smartless, which is Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, the actors.
Nice.
The Mel Robbins podcast, and Up First, the NPR one.
Oh.
So what I found interesting is all those podcasts, almost bar 3 of them, are, so I guess half, are run by actors.
It makes sense.
I know, which like, I don't know why it kind of bummed me out because I was a little bit like, stick to your lane.
Yeah.
As someone who is an actor,
I know,
I'm like as I pivot. Yeah. But it was, so something that I think was definitely missing, Diary of a CEO, fucking nuts to me that was not nominated. Oh. It is, I've shared a few segments from him before.
Yes.
He's one of the top listened to podcasts in the world. He's a true journalist, true podcaster. He should have been on there. I think it was such a miss they did not.
And he's not an actor.
No.
Historically.
He's like he started his Diary of a CEO where he was reading excerpts from his journal. That's how it started. And he's the same age as us. Wow. But the way he does his reporting is fantastic. They are so in depth. I just think it is just such a shame they did not nominate him.
That sucks.
And I also think if you're going to have 3 podcasts run by actors, like it's not like an acting format. You need to have more, I think, traditional podcasters in there. So, I mean, you have Call Her Daddy, so Alex Cooper, you've got the Mel Robbins, and then obviously Up First is a true like NPR journalism podcast, which I also love. I actually think Good Hang is going to win though, which I find frustrating. I don't know if you've listened to Good Hang.
I have not.
I've only listened to the first episodes that she was doing at the start. So this is Amy Poehler's podcast. It's kind of been the hit of this year.
I've seen some clips from hers. And
you would have.
I love her so much.
I do love her. I think her first few episodes, she was struggling to get the format. And I think she was probably finding her voice. Before I say I don't think she should win, I do want to go and listen to some more recent ones and see if she's found her footing a bit more.
We had to find our footing too.
Totally. But that's why I'm like, it's your first year and you're nominated. I was a little like, you just started this. Like all the others have been running theirs for a while. And I sometimes wonder, is it just like because of their names, you know?
Oh, I'm sure that is heavily influenced.
That's why I was like, choose the ones who've been really working at this and doing this for a while, aka no to Zelda. No, but like there's so many out there that I think are doing different type of work.
Correct.
But I have a sense she's going to win because all over the podcasting world, people are like, it's the breakout star. And I think the reason is because it's so light. People like it because it's very light and funny. And she doesn't, I think it's a nice escapism for people. And I do love her. I think she's great. She's fantastic. But it was an interesting selection for me, and I'm very intrigued to see how this grows. Like, I wonder if they'll start. I mean, I'm sure there's awards for podcasting generally, but I just feel like as the media format is becoming bigger and bigger, and now that video podcasts are becoming more and more popular,
correct,
it's becoming more like a TV show.
I mean, Note to Self will be up there.
One day, baby.
Stay
One
tuned.
day. But yeah, fascinating. I thought I am keen to see what happens when we get to the Golden Globes.
Well, stay tuned. I don't know what else. I don't watch that at all.
You don't watch the Golden Globes?
Are you surprised?
Oh, it's so
Are you surprised?
good. It's so good. I love it because it's just, to me, they always say it's like the drunk version of the Oscars because everyone's drinking and just gets kind of wasted.
Nice.
And I also like it. I mean, I definitely have some issues with the Golden Globes, but I do like it because it is television in it. The Oscars is just film. And I am definitely more of a TV girly. I love good films. Don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of the ones nominated this year and I pumped about quite a few of them. But TV's where my heart is at.
I know it is.
Big TV girl.
I know.
It's kind of sick how much television I watch.
I don't want to think about it because
I've seen pretty much everything.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to do a deep dive on the Golden Globes as a solo ep.
And
Get ready, people. So now that we are wrapping up our Christmas special.
Our Christmas special.
Anything you have to say to our listeners?
It has been a pleasure being on this ride with you, and you will not see the end of me. That sounded like a threat. You will see me again at
You
some
will
point.
not. See, that does sound like a threat. How would you feel about one final little love or loathe?
Oh my God.
I have to
Whip it out.
I have to go get the item. I forgot to hide it today.
Where? I don't know where anything.
Close your eyes.
Saskia just bounced off.
Close your eyes.
You sound like my niece. She's putting something on, I think.
What do you think of my little vest?
This seems like culturally inappropriate, and I can't put my finger on it, but it just doesn't sit. First of all, it does not sit right on you, and it does not sit well with me.
So I got this piece at a vintage store in Buenos Aires, and I was thinking, oh, it's so chic. I love the material. Put it on at home. I kind of look like Aladdin.
Oh my God.
Right? I almost loathe it. And I loved it. And I might loathe it.
I do think the material is great. I think maybe...
Like what? Why do I look like Aladdin?
I don't think that this is something that you should wear outside.
I don't think, like, I'm going to be determined to make this work.
You
I will
will.
find a way to make it work. But
I believe in you,
do you think
Aladdin.
it needs to be tailored?
I don't know what that needs, but it needs a lot.
What if it was like more of like a...
Don't put a brooch on that. Do not put a brooch on that. I swear to God, Saskia Stark, if you put a fucking brooch on that Aladdin goddamn whatever. It's beautiful.
Right. And that's what's such a bummer is it actually is so beautiful and well made.
I don't know if you should be wearing it.
I love how you're like, it seems off and I can't quite figure it out. And I was like, I know what it is.
And when you said it, I was like,
I
oh.
thought you would get it. I was like, she's going to get it. She's going to get it. Yeah, it was an
It's
interesting
beautiful,
choice. Though. Yeah, I'm pretty bummed about this one. Hey, every other item I've brought, I have loved.
Yep.
And I tell you what, maybe we'll do it twofold because I also have these shoes here.
Oh my God. These, I might buy a pair.
Kat is I wore these on before actually, and I popped them on and Kat was like, what the fuck are these? Please explain to the listeners.
They are black North Face sleeping bag shoes.
These things are so warm.
I bet they are because they resemble sleeping bags for your feetsies.
Do you like them?
I will probably buy a pair.
I was going to get matching gloves. So my feet and my hands match.
I think it's time for you to concentrate on your move.
Dude, you will buy a pair
I
of
will.
these.
They're
actually really good.
They're pretty comfortable.
They're really warm. So maybe I'll put those on with the matching gloves and then my Aladdin.
Wait, those would be good for walking the dogs at night.
Yeah, dude. So, tell you what. This winter I've decided it's time to let being looking chic go away and I'm leaning into the mushroom vibe. So I bought a long winter coat that goes like past my knees, these shoes, and I'm going to get mushroom gloves.
Okay, drop the link.
I'll send it your way, baby. Well,
Mary, and I don't know.
Mary.
I don't know. Happy holidays and all that bullshit. Well, it's gonna just be you in the new year for the time being until I get my erotica published.
Guys, when Kat comes back, that's when we'll know.
So if anyone wants to help me move this process along, please reach out.
Yeah, if you want her back,
Yes.
send her stories.
Send me stories. Send me publishers.
But in all seriousness, have absolutely loved this time with you.
Me too.
I think it's very kismet that it kind of wrapped up at the end of the year. And I feel like it was a beautiful time to end season 1. And thank you for being on this journey with me. And you better be listening.
I will be listening and
For
I'll be
season
back.
2. You
Why
will
does
be.
this all sound like a thread?
I'll be back.
God.
Yeah.
All right.
It's stressful.
Big love.
Thanks, listeners. We'll see you in the new year.
Bye.
Bye.